Now let's take a look at some of the most commonly used camera movements. Please try and be as creative as you can with your movements, because if you want to create engaging video, you will want to have a selection of movements in your video and not just zooms and pans. So let's take a look at some movements. The first one we will look at is panning. To pan your camera, you just need to move it horizontally on a fixed point. This is ideal if you have a tripod or if you're getting a wide shot of something like a landscape, for example. You aren't moving the camera itself, just the way that the camera faces. This type of movement is a great way to get your establishing shot. Next we have tilting. This is very similar to panning, however this time you are moving your camera up or down. Again with the camera in a fixed position on something like a tripod. This type of shot is great for introducing a character or creating a sense of height within your shot. For example, if you tilt up to a skyscraper, it will give a great sense of how big the building is. Alternatively, you can tilt down on something like a cliff to show just how high up you are. Next we have the dolly movement. This is where you move the camera forwards or backwards, essentially walking with your subject. This is great with a Steadicam or a gimbal and can add some really nice flowing effects if done properly. The truck movement is the same as the dolly, but this time you are moving your camera sideways rather than back and forth. Again, this will be best done using a slider or a gimbal, as you will need to get rid of the risk of any stuttering or friction. Now onto the pedestal. This move is where you move the camera vertically whilst on the same fixed base. Think of it a bit like an elevator. Move the camera up or down whilst keeping it facing the same direction. This shot is ideal for transitions. For example, clip A would be the camera moving up, then clip B would also be the camera moving up but from a different starting location. Next you have rack focus. This is more of a technique than a movement, but it's a great way of shifting the audience's focus. All you need to do is start off with one object blurry and one object in focus, and then quickly adjust the focus so that the object that was previously out of focus is now in focus, and the one which was in focus is now out of focus. Finally, we have the old zoom movement. Zooming is most commonly used in TV shows as a way to highlight somebody saying something shocking or funny. Now you've probably seen the TV show Modern Family, they use this technique quite a bit. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic movement if used sparingly, however try and be as creative as possible when you're using it. For example, adding energy or to try and highlight a key point in your video. So just to recap, some of the basic camera movements to get you started are panning, tilting, the dolly, truck, pedestal, rack focus, and zoom. So get out there, create something great using these camera movements, and if you have any questions, please let me know.